Yo, what's up, people? In this video, we're going to watch this one, Fudge Report, Real Time with Bill Maher. This is trending, or it's 2 weeks old. I don't know, whatever. I guess it's not trending, or maybe it is trending. I don't really know. Whatever. Anyway, somebody asked me to watch this. We're gonna watch it. Bill Maher, generally pretty base. And pretty base dude. Calls things like they are a lot of the time. Gets in trouble sometimes for what he says, but I would say as a most of the time he's pretty good at just like calling out bullshit, calling out the world's bullshit where he's able to. So anyway, if you guys have any other recommendations for videos or YouTubers you want to take a look at, let me know. Leave me a comment.
Finally, new rule at next Thursday's debate. One of the candidates has to say, the problem with our healthcare system is Americans eat shit, and too much of it. All the candidates will talk about their health plans, but no one will mention the key factor. The citizens don't lift a finger to help. And then the candidates will go back on the trail the next day and try to prove they're just as big a gluttonous slob as the rest of us. Sometimes while discussing pre-existing conditions. But why do people have so many pre-existing conditions? Being fat isn't a birth defect. Nobody comes out of the womb needing to buy 2 seats on the airplane. Here it is in a nutshell from the New York Times. Poor diet is the leading cause of mortality in the United States. Everyone knows obesity is linked to terrible conditions like diabetes, heart disease, and virginity. Not to mention cancer. But that's just the beginning of it. There is literally nothing being overweight does not make worse. Eyesight, memory, pain, fatigue, depression. You don't poop right. It weakens your immune system. We scream at Congress to find a way to...
Yeah, so he's not wrong. I mean, I'm kind of curious as to what James Corden's response is to this. Because those are all facts, you know what I mean? I mean, are they not facts, right? Like, obesity makes things worse. People generally don't do much to keep their health in line. It's, you kind of wonder, right, when you look at people who are obese, right? You think, are they lazy? That's the question that most people ask. It's like, are these people, why are they so fat, really? Is it because they're lazy? Is it because, and the reason you ask that is because, is it that they know that they should do something and they don't do it, which is laziness? Or is that they are somehow unaware of what their condition is? Which I guess you could say that they're unaware, willfully unaware, or in denial, and that is creating a condition that is similar to laziness. So that's kind of what you wonder, right? And then a lot of the times what you have is these obese people or people who are pandering to obese people say, no, it's actually not their fault. Whose fault is it, really? Who can you blame? Are you gonna blame Bill Maher? Like, it's not his fault that people are fat. It's not my fault. It's not like Kim Kardashian's fault or like Victoria's Secret or the magazines. Like, what's your, I don't know. So yeah, I mean, I'm just wondering here, like, how could somebody have a problem with what he's saying? I guess this a similar scenario would be, let's say instead of obese, we say poor. Nobody comes out of the womb poor. Poverty causes all these bad things. People are not taking steps to correct their own poverty. That's all true, is it not? Is it not true? I think, honestly, losing weight is way easier than making money, my personal opinion. If let's say you come from you have no education, it's hard, you can't read, you can't write, like, it's much harder for you to make money, arguably, because it limits your options. But anybody can choose to fast or to not eat, like open YouTube on their phone. Like, who doesn't have a smartphone these days, really? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm so far so good. I don't know.
To pay for our medical bills, but it wouldn't be nearly the issue it is if people just didn't eat like assholes. Who are killing not only themselves, but the planet. The Amazon fires are because farmers there are burning down the rainforest to make room for future hamburgers and soybeans. Because here in America, we look at fried chicken and think, that's a good start. Now put it on a bun, and add bacon, and cheese, and something no one even thought to put on it. Make my mouth cum. What's Elizabeth Warren's plan for that? Europe doesn't look like this because Europe's not always eating for two. We weren't always like this. Watching the footage of the 50th anniversary of Apollo 11, I was struck by how not fat everyone in the crowd was. We looked like a completely different race of people. Now look at us. We wear shirts that our ancestors could have used as a sail. 100 years ago, this guy was fat enough to be the fat man in the circus. Now, he's a guy.
Okay, so now I see what the problem is here. This is like, or what a perceived problem with what he's saying could be. When you present a message in a way that is offensive or insulting, people are going to reject that message regardless of what it says, regardless of if it's right or not, because it's offensive and it's delivered in a very caustic way. I'm sure we all know people who are assholes. I'm thinking actually of myself, like, do I not do this in my own videos where I'll say something and I'll be like, yeah, I'm an asshole, but I'm right, you know? But I don't know. I think my delivery. I'm not as crude as him. I don't say like make my mouth come or like eat like assholes. I don't say you don't. I think better care should be taken. Nobody puts any thought into the words that they use. Nobody thinks that specific word choice is important. I do. I think specific word choice is very important. If I say, for example, fucking I love Nazis, right? Or Nazi fucking, I don't know, Nazi porn star, whatever. You're gonna think something in your mind, right? You're gonna think Nazi porn star, and your mind will create an image in your mind connected to all of the associations that you have with Nazis and porn stars. You'll think of a swastika. You'll probably think of like a girl with like huge tits and like dressed in skimpy clothing with like a Nazi hat and like the Nazi armband, right? Your mind will conjure up all of these images just as a result of me speaking these two words. So that's an extreme example, but you have every word that we use will conjure up images like that to varying degrees. So when you say stuff, I think, and this is not, he's not ad-libbing here. This is all scripted and this is material that he wrote or that his writer, whatever, this thought went into this. I'm not saying this is like him just like making shit up on the spot. And it's designed probably to get people to talk about it. So in that regard, like he's not really trying, I don't think. The goal here is not to help fat people be less fat. I'm not muted, am I? The goal is not trying to help fat people be less fat, right? Or to accurately describe a situation as accurately as possible. This is designed to, I think, entertain and also to get people talking about what he's saying, because he's basically insulting like 2/3 of America. Whether or not they agree with his assessment will probably determine the level to which they are insulted. But these are very insulting statements to say about people. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm not saying I disagree. But when they're delivered in this way, it makes it very easy for people to disagree and to reject the message and say, well, he's just a fucking asshole. I don't trust what he says anyway. Because he's a dick. Why should I believe anything he says? They're just like irritated with him, as opposed to if he said it in a nice, like, concerned, suave way. But then again, maybe sometimes people just need to hear stuff like this.
People know I'm speaking the truth. After all, isn't that why your Tinder picture is 3 years old? Can fat be beautiful? That's in the eye of the beholder. But healthy? No, that's science. I know this is a controversial thing to say now in today's America, but being fat is a bad thing. We shouldn't taunt people about it, and overeating shouldn't be singled out as the only vice. It's not. We all have something. But there's no smoking acceptance or drunk acceptance. When I drank too much, yeah, sometimes someone would say to me, that's not great for your health, Bill. Maybe you should slow down a little. You went kind of hard last night. And I would say, yeah, I know. I'm going to start next week. And then, of course, I wouldn't. But I didn't say, how dare you drink shame me? Being blotto is beautiful. Of course I didn't say that. I was focusing on the road. When did it become taboo in this country to talk about getting healthy? Weight Watchers had to literally take the words weight and watchers, I'm not kidding, out of their name. It's now WW, because merely the idea of watching your weight is now bullying. What's next, banning scales? Hey, liberals, you know how you hate it when conservatives won't even let the CDC study gun violence as a public health issue? This is that. You're the NRA of mayonnaise. We have gone to this weird place where fat is good. It's pointing out that fat is unhealthy. That's what's bad. Fat shame? No, we fit shame. Really, you hear it all the time. Someone sees a merely trim person. You should eat something. No, you should not eat something.
So the cool thing about Bill Maher, or what I think is cool about him, is that, and you know, I don't really like follow this guy. I used to watch he's had this show. Is this the Real Time with Bill Maher? I don't know if he had this show before or if he just did stand-up before, but he was like kind of known for being, he didn't really pick a side. You know, he called out bullshit on both sides. Actually called out bullshit. In, I think, the interests of being funny is really what he did. And, you know, some of the most honest communication that you get is in comedy, because that's why we laugh. It's because we you know, I think it was John Cleese who said, if I'm in an argument with somebody, I just need to make them laugh. Because once they laugh, I know that they're agreeing with me. Because if they didn't agree with me, they wouldn't understand the joke. In order to understand the joke, you need to agree, and you need to identify, yes, that's true. So once you make the other person laugh, you win the argument automatically, almost. So I think that's kind of, I don't know if he connected that in his head, if he like watched that like John Cleese clip also, or if he just came to that conclusion independently as a result of his like career in comedy. But I think that he also is kind of just interested really in just calling out bullshit. It's just kind of like what he enjoys to do. I can relate as a commentator, as a fellow commentator. But I think that, and to be fair, you know, there are advantages to this type of delivery style. Fuck, I'm not muted, am I? God, I really hope I'm not. Alright, cool. There are advantages to this. Like, this is, you know, somebody made a response to this. Great exposure for him. I mean, you guys got a TV show on HBO, so like, how much more exposure does he really need? But still, it's good. Any exposure is good exposure, I feel. Unless, you know, whatever, you're like arrested by the FBI for like child porn or something. It's probably not good. Jared from Subway. Yeah.
I should be more unhealthy so you can feel better about your fat ass? In August, 53 Americans died from mass shootings. Terrible, right? You know how many died from obesity? 40,000. Fat shaming doesn't need to end. It needs to make a comeback. Some amount of shame is good. We shame people out of smoking and into wearing seatbelts. We shame them out of littering, and most of them out of racism. Shame is the first step in reform. It's what goads people into saying, maybe I can do better, as opposed to, I'm always perfect the way I am, how dare you. We need to start aiming higher as a country. This is a good place to start. We can all keep pretending that healthcare is an issue between you and the government, but it's really between you and the waitress. It's not just about being able to see a doctor. It's also about being able to see your dick.
All right. So what's the problem? Why is it so hard to tackle this issue? I think because, and this is just me speculating, but I have this channel where most of the content arguably is about fitness and eating disorders and what should I eat and how do I work out and blah blah blah. And like, you guys hear how I talk, right? I have no patience for this. I have no patience for this type of talk. It's like, I don't know how to make it more clear, really. Again, nothing against anybody who's ever asked me a question, but the guidelines are very simple. Eat lots of meat, eat once a day, go to the gym. That's it. Any of your other questions are inconsequential if you're doing those three things. And honestly, if you ask me any questions, I know you're not doing those three things, because those three things will get you to the 99.9th percentile of humanity, within 45 days, really, honestly. Now, that said, occasionally I will say, I will come down, I will let my frustration show and lash out, let's say, against, let's just be lazy and define them as lazy people or fat people or obese people or whatever, people who are unmotivated to stay trim and, have visible abs, let's say. Sometimes I get irritated and lash out at them, and I call them fat, I call them obese, I say go to the fucking gym, and I say all this shit. It's hard, I have friends who are fat, I have friends who are overweight, I have friends who are obese. Most of my friends are fat and obese and overweight or skinny fat. I wonder if I even have any friends who are fit. I don't think I do. Everybody I know is out of shape, pretty much. I mean, more out of shape than me, for sure. Maybe I'm an extreme example. Not like I'm fucking Olympian or anything, but like, I don't think they could do my workouts. I really don't. Anyway, whatever. The point is that I have all these friends who are out of shape and obese, and like, I don't want to say anything bad about them. They're my friends. I like them. They're my friends for a reason. My family also. So it brings into this like you notice his guests. Nobody was fat. None of his guests are fat. So of course he feels more comfortable saying those things, and I'm sure he planned ahead of time. Let's have like thin, fit guests on the show. That one brunette girl looked like she's pretty fit. I'm sure she goes to the gym. That other dude with the short hair is like nodding and like clapping. Bill Maher, I don't know, I guess he works out, looks pretty fit for, what is he, like in his 60s now? Early 60s maybe? Like, yeah, early 60s I would say. Yeah, okay, I kind of want to see James Corden's response. I have this tab open. I guess we'll do that one next. But yeah, so far this is like... the only problem that I could see people would have with this is that he's just being a dick about it. You don't have to be a dick about it. Snake Diet Guy, yeah, he says fuck and he calls people names, but he's not really a dick about it. You know what I mean? Somehow, I'm not sure how he manages to pull it off, but I don't get the sense that he's being an asshole. You know, he's really just like telling people what they need to hear. This is more, this is just meaner. You know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, what do you guys think about this? Is he on point? Is he full of shit? Why is this rubbing me the wrong way? Or not rubbing me the wrong way. Why is this meaner and Snake Diet Guy isn't? Let me know. Leave me a comment. Peace.